The next dish that I'm making is cornbread salad, and I've made it a couple of times lately, and I've had so many people ask me for the recipe. So here you go. What I love about this recipe is how many vegetables go into it. You can clean out your refrigerator if you have vegetables left over in there and throw them in. This is also a good one to kind of play with and do different things with. I think a Tex-Mex version of this would be really good with black beans instead of black-eyed peas. Use cilantro in it. You could really play with this and do a lot of different things and really cater it to what your family likes, the vegetables that they are more willing to eat. You can put those in there. This starts with making your cornbread, and I have struggled with making cornbread for so long, and then I finally found just a regular buttermilk cornbread mix at the grocery store. I don't use buttermilk because I don't really buy it very often. I just use regular whole milk in it, and I think the key is to put your Crisco in your cast iron skillet, put it in the oven and let it get really, really hot while you're mixing up your batter. Then pull it out and pour your batter in, and you get this nice crust on your cornbread. And I feel like I've made the best cornbread ever using that recipe, and it always just goes crumbled up into this salad dish. But I would be willing to serve this, and I can't say that very often about cornbread. So that's what you do first, is make your cornbread. You can let it cool. Mine's still a little warm, but you just don't want it piping hot when you put this in because everything else is kind of cold. So I have my cornbread, tomatoes, and I used heirloom tomatoes because right now they're in season. That's another reason I love summer, is because heirloom tomatoes to me are just so much richer. They have a really, really good flavor. Onion, I used about half an onion. I have red bell pepper and green bell pepper, about half of each. I have 12 slices of bacon that are chopped. And then over here, I have a can of corn that I drained and rinsed, and a can of black-eyed peas that I drained and rinsed. So then you have a dressing mixture that you have to get together. And it's easier to me if you go ahead and get each of your layers ready, and then you can just throw it in your dish. So this is about 2 cups of sour cream, and I'm going to pour in 2 packets of ranch mix and stir that together. A lot of times these ranch packets call for mayonnaise too, but I really like the tanginess of just sour cream. So I just combine it with sour cream, and then I pour in a little bit of whole milk just to thin it out a little bit. Because when you're layering it in, sometimes it gets a little hard to layer if it's super thick. I want to pour it. I don't want to be able to pour it. I don't want it that thin. But I want to be able to easily spread it. Might do a little bit more. There we go. Alright. So, all of our elements are here. I also have shredded cheese. You can shred your own or buy it already shredded. Either way is fine. I'm going to put my vegetables in here and mix them all together because that's going to be a layer by itself. My tomato. Put my bell pepper in. Alright, I'm going to mix in all our vegetables. So now we're just going to layer everything. I always put this in a trifle dish, but you can put it in a casserole dish just so it fits better in your refrigerator. That's totally fine too. But a trifle dish just turns out really pretty, I think. You see all the layers really well. So you start with your cornbread, and I'm going to take probably about a third of this cornbread, and just crumble it into the bottom. And you don't have to worry about them being uneven chunks. You get everything in each of the layers anyway. I'm going to put in a layer of vegetables. I love the black eyed peas in this. To me, that is just so southern. Cornbread, black eyed peas, bacon. Alright, and then you're going to go in with your dressing. Just spread it out as best you can. And then a little bit of cheese. This is about a 2-cup bag of cheese, and typically I use the whole bag. The hardest thing about this recipe probably is just being mindful of how much you put in each layer, because you want to make sure that you have pretty even layers and that you're going to have enough to do every layer. And that is cornbread salad. You can make this way ahead of time, cover it with saran wrap and pop it in the refrigerator. I have made this the day ahead and it's still just as good. It lasts really good, good for leftovers. And I always like cold sides in the summertime. Not all cold, but I do like a lot of cold sides when you're cooking in the summer, and this is definitely one of my favorites.